This week, Moscow has launched its most intense and desperate offensive in months, unleashing waves of kamikaze drones and coordinated strikes on three key cities in eastern Ukraine. If Russia takes them, it could cut off reinforcements, weaken Ukraine's entire front line, and secure a stronger grip on the Donbass region. All of this comes just days before a high-stakes meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin in the U.S. state of Alaska. The timing is no coincidence. By taking these cities now, Russia could arrive at the talks in a much stronger position, and that could change the outcome of the reunion. Over the past week, Russian forces have been advancing on three cities that form a critical part of Ukraine's eastern defenses. Kupiansk, Pokrovsk, and Kostiantynivka lie along key transport corridors that keep Ukrainian troops supplied and connected. If these cities fall, it would open the way for deeper Russian advances into Donetsk and further isolate Ukrainian units in the east. The attacks have been relentless. Swarms of Garan 2 and Garan 3 kamikaze drones, including faster jet-powered variants, have struck ammunition depots, railway hubs, and command posts. These strikes are combined with artillery barrages and small assault groups pushing from multiple directions, forcing Ukrainian forces to spread thin across the front. Moscow's objective is clear: secure territorial gains now so they can be presented as leverage at the upcoming Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska. And with the meeting just days away, the Kremlin appears determined to push the offensive to its limits. While Russian troops press forward on the battlefield, Vladimir Putin is also working to secure political support abroad. In recent days, he has spoken with China's Xi Jinping and India's Narendra Modi, two leaders whose countries have maintained strong economic ties with Moscow despite Western sanctions. By reaching out now, Putin aims to show that Russia is not isolated and to build a bloc of influential partners before sitting down with Donald Trump in Alaska. Behind closed doors, discussions are already underway about what a possible ceasefire might look like. Sources in the US and Europe say one idea involves Ukraine ceding some of its territory in exchange for a halt to the fighting. For Moscow, the terms have not changed. A formal guarantee that Ukraine will never join NATO, partial disarmament of Ukrainian forces, recognition of Russian control over territories already occupied, plus the handover of additional strategic areas now under Ukrainian control. These demands would redraw the map of Ukraine and reshape the balance of power in Eastern Europe. By combining military pressure with diplomatic outreach, Moscow is positioning itself to push these terms at the negotiating table. When Donald Trump meets Vladimir Putin in Alaska next week, his stated goal will be to secure a ceasefire and end the bloodshed. But behind that broad goal, several specific ideas are being discussed. According to diplomatic sources, one proposal would see Russia take full control of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, areas it has partly occupied since 2014, while giving back the Kherson and Zaporizhzhia regions to Ukraine. Trump has hinted at swapping territories to the betterment of both sides, framing it as a way for each party to claim a win. For Russia, it would mean finally consolidating control over the industrial heart of the Donbass. For Ukraine, it would mean regaining access to the Dnipro River and the Black Sea coastline in the south. But such a deal comes with risks. Many in Kyiv would see it as rewarding Russian aggression and locking in permanent territorial losses. Trump, however, appears focused on speed, securing an agreement that can be announced quickly, even if it leaves key issues to be resolved later. For President Vladimir Zelensky, the Alaska meeting comes at a moment of extreme vulnerability. His country is almost entirely dependent on Western military and financial support. Reports suggest that Ukraine will not be directly represented at the talks, raising fears in Kyiv that decisions affecting the country's future could be made without its input. Zelensky has made it clear that Ukraine will not accept any agreement involving the loss of territory. Tens of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers have died defending these areas, and ceding them now would be seen by many as a betrayal. If Trump presents a land swap deal that includes permanent territorial concessions, Zelensky already announced that he'll reject it outright. That rejection will put him in direct conflict with Washington at a time when U.S. military and financial support remains vital for Ukraine's survival. It could also strain relations with European allies, some of whom might quietly support a ceasefire even on unfavorable terms, simply to stop the fighting. If the Alaska talks produce a plan that Kyiv refuses to sign, it would leave Ukraine caught between its battlefield reality and the political pressure of its most powerful backers. The Alaska meeting will bring Trump and Putin face to face at a decisive moment in the war. What is agreed there, or what fails to be agreed, could shape Ukraine's fate and the balance of power in Eastern Europe for years to come. With battles still raging and diplomacy moving behind closed doors, the outcome remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: the decisions made next week will echo far beyond the negotiating table. If you found this analysis useful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring clear, fact-based coverage of the world's most important events.